I decided to become an architect right from when I was quite a young child. So I was probably in year 7 or 8 in high school. I went to the University of Technology, which is in the heart of the city, and I studied for 6 years there, which was a Bachelor of Architecture. And as part of our study at UTS, we actually also needed to work at an architect's firm. And so I was very fortunate. I did a lot of research, and then I got an amazing job at the Cox Group, which is a very large multinational award-winning firm. And so I applied there and I got the job, and I worked for them for 10 years. And I loved working there. It was a great environment. If you had told me in 2006, when we first moved here in 2004, that I'd be running my own practice in Wagga Wagga, my own architectural practice, I wouldn't have believed anyone. So when I started GPG at the beginning, Oscar was born, and it was really crazy times for us. Oscar was a very sick child for the first 18 months of his life, and so that meant no sleep, and it meant days and days of being in a complete fog sometimes, with him either being sick or unwell. And at the same time, I was trying to set up this business, this practice of my own. And I persisted because to me, it was almost like an oasis. It was my time that was mine. GPG started at the back of the house in a very small space, but it was always a dedicated space. So I made it quite an important factor that my place where I set up as a business was always a special space and was exclusively for that use. Over the last 8 to 10 years, GPG has grown significantly. So we now employ 4 to 5 team members, whether they be staff or contractors. And the space has transitioned through the home. So it started off at the back, moved to the middle, and now has finally made it to the front of the home. So it's still a home-based business at the moment. But what is exciting is that I've now started with my husband and the kids construction on our new home. And what the new home has is it also has its own self-contained office space. In terms of projects, we've gone from basically working on very small scale additions to now having projects of basically around $5 to $16 million value on our drawing board. So it's exciting times. We're collaborating with other local architects to basically retain a lot of the larger projects that come through Wagga locally. And previously, when the kids were little, I wouldn't commute out of Wagga, but now I work anywhere from between Canberra through to Tumut and Tumbaramba, across to West Wyalong and Albury. So our radius has expanded, and I get really excited because often I'll get a phone call from a client or a prospective client that'll say to me that they've heard we're the best architects in town. And so that's great, when you get a phone call like that, it's fantastic. Someone I've never spoken to, and that word of mouth has just filtered through all through the Riverina for us at the moment. I would say that there has been more a series of different challenges throughout my time. So first of all, when I came to Wagga, I felt, I was 26 when we first moved to Wagga, so I was a young architect, and I felt that was a little bit of a stumbling block for me initially, more so regionally than in the city. So being young and being female, I'd walk into many a room, which I still do today, with all men, often over 50. And so, that's just been a lot of work now on my part. Secondly, it would be working from home, so isolation. Initially, that was a real trauma for me. That was a very difficult time, especially since I'd come from such a big office environment, and then downgrading to such a small space. So the isolation was incredibly difficult. And, for me to combat that, it was about surrounding myself with either like-minded individuals or getting out and, attending groups like Women in Business and other community events or other business events. The first thing I did was seek out the other architects that were located in Wagga, and I made a very great relationship with 3 of the local fellows, Mark Golden, Noel Thompson and Chris Hellier, and they're great. We catch up every couple of months, and we have coffee meetings, and I would definitely look at Mark and Noel as my mentors. So especially in the early days when I would give them a call and just have a chat, even just for a chat, you know, when you're sitting in the office on your own. But all the way through to now, you know, at the moment I've been working with Mark Golden on a series of joint ventures. So it's very exciting. So, you know, we're sharing knowledge, we're sharing time, and we're working together, which is great.
The trust that Gioia and I have established enables us to have a relationship that's respectful and mutually beneficial to us both and to our clients that engage us.
The last challenge and challenges that I've had, and it's been mostly at this end, at the later end, was guarantee of work and getting projects. And so my team and I have actually done a lot of work towards that, towards getting your business noticed, first of all on a regional level, but obviously then on a larger scale. And so, you know, we inbuilt a whole heap of different systems within our practice in terms of marketing to get our business out. And we implemented a system where we created a whole new service which took architecture out to the masses.
The journey on that path has been quite fast. She's used a lot of intelligence. She's learnt quickly where she can, and I think she's actually achieved a very successful firm structure in quite a short period of time.
I thought a lot about how could I influence the future of architecture, influence the future of the built environment, how could I participate in this? And I thought, well, an opportunity is to actually look at bringing on board a lot of work experience students within our practice. A couple of years back, probably 4 years ago, we started at 2 students a year. Now we're only 3/4 of the year through, and I think we've already had 6 students, and we have 3 lined up for next term, which is 9 this year. So I would say just go for it, but at the same time, I would say give it time. So it's not something that you can do, especially if you're like me and you're from the city and you do this enormous change. Give it time and really work at it. So if you come and 3 months down the track, you know, you're still not liking it, I'd say you'd almost have to give it a couple of years.